Hello, everybody, and it is day 43 in Food for the Soul Daily Devotional. And today we have a very special guest. Don't forget to show them your love and appreciation for what they're doing. I like to share a couple of words that remind me of this person. And I'm pretty sure by process of elimination, you probably know who it is. But someone who reminds me of God's first love that He puts in those of us that come into Christ sometimes for the very first time. And if you don't know what the first love is, in Revelations 2, 4, and 5, it says Jesus makes it clear in Revelations that we are to keep Him as our first love. In other words, we should hold Him as our love above any and all other loves. For those who don't know what first love means, the Bible tells us we always need to come back to that first love, because throughout time, it's sad to say that when we go to church, for those who've been there for 10, 15 years, sometimes we lose track of that first love. And that's the love that is tender and sweet, that is yet powerful and transmits to others how love should be really shown to our Father. And that's kind of like that relationship when you first meet your boyfriend or girlfriend. You're super excited about it, you want to keep on talking with them, and you just can't get tired of it. You want to be in the presence. But in this case, it's not in a physical relationship, but a spiritual relationship. And that's what this person reminds me of when I talk with her, when I share with her, when she shares with me her thoughts, when we're at church and she expresses, hey, I had this experience, and I share my experiences with her, and that's what transmits, and it's very beautiful and nice, and it's a privilege to have the honor to be able to teach her as best as I can the guitar. And without further ado, I like to introduce to you our special guest for today.
Hello, you guys. Good morning. I want to thank Jeff for giving me the chance to come here and share a piece of the word with you guys. Hopefully, it will be edifying and it will stick with you throughout the day and will give you joy and bless you guys. I want to share something that when I read it, it touched my heart. Like I've read it before, but this time that I read it, it moved my heart, and it is Jeremías 1:4. Dice, vino pues palabra de Jehová a mí diciendo, antes que te formase en el vientre te conocí, y antes que nacieses te santifiqué. Te di por profeta a las naciones, y yo dije, Señor Jehová, he aquí no sé hablar, porque soy niño. Y me dijo Jehová, no digas, soy un niño, porque a todo lo que te envíe irás tú, y dirás todo lo que te mande. No temas delante de ellos, porque contigo estoy para librarte, dice Jehová. Y extendió Jehová su mano, y tocó mi boca, y me dijo Jehová, he aquí he puesto mis palabras en tu boca. Mira que te he puesto en este día sobre naciones, y sobre reinos para arrancar y para destruir, para arruinar y para derribar, para edificar y para plantar. La palabra de Jehová vino a mí diciendo, ¿qué ves tú, Jeremías? Y dije, veo una vara de almendro. Y me dijo Jehová, bien has visto, porque yo apresuro mi palabra para ponerla por obra. And this portion, I love it. I always go back to it and read it again, because Jeremias, he was young. He was like us. He was called young. And I can say that as for me, it is, or when I came to the Lord, these thoughts will come to my head, and that, well, I was so young, I cannot, to a certain extent, know God. I would think that since I was so young, I couldn't have that relationship that the older people had with God, with Jesus. And we know that is not true. We've experienced it, we've met Him, we've served Him, we worship Him together as a family, and we know that is not true. But I know that these thoughts may come to our minds, and I'm here to tell you and read this word to you, that even God said to Jeremiah, do not say you're a kid. He was not saying, hey, you're older, do not say you're a kid, because you're not. He was a kid. But what I can understand from this, God was trying to tell him, your age is not an obstacle. Do not say your age is an obstacle for you to serve me. And I think this is very touching to me, because you will think that God will go to people who know the most. You will think that God is looking for people who are so full in knowledge and I don't know, experience. But He's not looking for that. He's looking for our hearts, our desire to serve Him. And today, what I want you guys to keep in your hearts or in your minds is, if you've ever thought of, well, I'm too young to look out for Him. Well, I'm too young to, I don't know, to prophesize. I'm too young to learn more about my instrument. I'm too young to preach to other kids, to other people on the streets. I'm too young to give out a word that it's in my heart. Well, you're not. God wants to tell you that do not say you're too young, because for Him, that's not an obstacle. In the end, we are in His hands. Y me encanta esta porción que dice en el versículo 9, dice, y extendió Jehová su mano y tocó mi boca y me dijo, he aquí he puesto mis palabras en tu boca. And it's like, it's so beautiful, because God was so interested on using him that He touched his mouth, his lips, so that all of the words that will come out of him were God's words. They weren't, everything that he was going to say was not going to come from Jeremiah. And I want to tell you guys, los quiero instar a que no tengamos miedo a compartir la palabra. I know it's very we can get shy and be like, well, I don't know what this person is gonna tell me. But you don't know if those words that you have in your heart, that you feel that you have to say to that person, are those words that God is putting in your mouth to tell that person. God knows everything. He's the one, He knows everything. that person may be battling with something in their minds, and they may need a response from God, and He says, Lord, you're available, you are my vessel. I want to use you because you please me. And your age, your ethnicity, your gender, your height, your weight, nothing matters. I just want to use you. I just want to use your voice, your vessel. And something else, it's on verse 4. Con lo que comencé, dice, vino pues palabra de Jehová a mí diciendo, antes que te formase en el vientre te conocí, y antes que nacieses te santifiqué y te di por profeta a las naciones. It's amazing to see how he starts by telling him he knows us before we were even in our mother's womb. He knows us perfectly. And He specifically built each one of us for a purpose. And if at this age we are already serving Him, it's not just because, no es una coincidencia, it's because He wanted it that way. So don't think that you're too young, because He put you in this world at this time, at this moment. You're hearing this because He wants you to know that you're not too young. This is a perfect timing for you to meet Him, for you to look out for Him, for you to work out miracles if He wants for you, to give prophecy for you if He wants, to give you visions, to make His will come true for you. And hopefully this message, my words, were clear. It's very small, but I want you guys to not forget how much He loves us, each one of you guys, and the work and effort that we are doing for Him. He does not take anything in vain. He sees our hearts, and He does not need anything else but your heart and your will and your love and desire for Him. That is more than enough for Him to use you. And your age is for sure not an obstacle. Hope you guys have a blessed rest of your day, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.
Thank you, Shasit. Appreciate those words that I know will leave an impact in each and every one of us. And you're right, age is just not a number, something I wanted to share as well with you guys, but a mindset. How old you are does not determine how smart you are. Unfortunately, that's just a sad truth. And it doesn't matter how young or how old you are, God can use you in many different ways. So thank you, Shasit, for those words, because they go far, especially coming from someone who's young and me who's old. It doesn't make it any of a difference that just because I'm old and just because you're young, God uses us or could use me more or use you less. No, that is not true. If you're willing and you allow yourself, He's definitely going to use you. So thank you again, Shasit. Appreciate it.